Alright fam, the name is Xander or Art, and I am here with a book review. I know, it's been over a year since I did an actual book review, but I'm here to do one today, and it's actually a series review. It's for the Magic in Manhattan series. The first book is Spellbound, and I will put the covers over here. So, first book is Spellbound. The second book is Starcrossed, and the third book is Wonderstruck. So all three of them, very good books. Would recommend. I already did like a Spellbound review on my Instagram, but this is for the whole series. I'm going to be talking about the whole series. Not going to be talking any spoilers because I don't think many people have read the series, and I don't want to talk spoilers for the people who have not read the series, and I'm not going to spoil it for them. Like, that's rude. So this is going to be spoiler free. And yeah, so Spellbound is about this psychometric, I think that's how you say it. That's how I've been saying it in my head this whole time. His name is Rory. He can touch things and see the past of them. So like, if, for example, he touched my camera, he would see me setting up the camera on the tripod and, you know, like stuff like that. So he can see the past of objects. And I'm not going to go too deep into his backstory because, like, his backstory is actually really interesting. And I don't want to spoil that. So just go into it knowing his backstory is very interesting, and I'm not going to spoil it because you should read it for yourself. Our other main character is named Arthur, and I will spoil his backstory because it's kind of spoiled, like, when you first meet him. It's not like a revelation like Rory's is. So anyway, Arthur was a soldier in World War I. This takes place in 1925. And so he was a soldier in World War I, but he is from a wealthy family. Like, his dad, I believe, is a congressman. So, like, everybody in his family is, like, super, like, into, like, one's a lawyer, and then one is just like a rich guy chilling with his kids. So anyway, he's this rich guy, but he's like a rich guy with like a heart of gold because he doesn't act like some pompous rich guy. He's like really nice, and him and Rory meet because he's investigating paranormal relics, and Rory works at this antique shop, and so Arthur goes to this antique shop and is like, here, can you appraise these letters from, I think it was Frederick Douglass. I'm not gonna tell you what, like, if they're real or not. I'm not gonna, that's part of the book, so no spoilers there. But that's how they meet, essentially, is because Arthur wants something appraised from Rory's antique shop. And then shenanigans all around. It's very shenanigans filled. And so it's also a romance, so I'll go ahead and tell you, it's obviously a romance between Arthur and Rory. You know, as one does when there are two main characters, you're like, aha, they're gonna be the ones that end up falling in love. And what a good love it is. It is such a good love. It's not necessarily a slow burn, because one, the book is really short, and two, it's not really a slow burn, but like, it isn't insta-love either. It's like a happy medium between the two. So anyway, it's really good. Arthur does his best to make sure Rory doesn't like feel inferior to him because he's so rich, and like, it's great. I really like it. I don't want to give too much away, so I'm trying to think of things that like they do, but I can say because it's not a spoiler. I don't think I can say much because I'm not giving away Rory's backstory, and like, a lot of things happen with regards to Rory's backstory. So there's that. Just know it's very good. Oh, I can talk about how the sex scenes are handled. Yes. Okay. So, basically, there's never any explicitly, like, actual sex scenes. There's, like, a lot of foreplay, if you get my drift, but there's not, like, explicit sex on the page. It's mainly just a fade to black, which I really appreciated, because I was like, some authors who write adult romance, like, just go all the way, and I'm like, you don't need to go all the way. It's so awkward. Like, some writers are awkward. Some writers can pull it off, but well, most of the time when I've read it, it hasn't been that great. But let me tell you, Spellbound, the Magic in Manhattan series in general, honestly, because obviously it's not just Spellbound that we're talking about, is full of fantastic foreplay and wonderful fade to black scenes. So I really enjoyed that. It's so good, so refreshing. It's fantastic. So I really enjoyed that. Also, there's a lot of banter between them, which I'm a sucker for, so I really liked that too. But yeah, it was really good. There is a bit of an age difference between them, but it's not super weird. Like, the book acknowledges the age difference, and the book also acknowledges that it's 1925 in America, so they can't be, like, seen together in a romantic sense, because, you know, that's not cool. That's actually a really big part of the, not a really big part of the plot, but, like, it's actually quite a big part of the plot, is how Arthur can't be really seen that much with Rory because of his family. He doesn't want a scandal to ruin his family. So anyway, there's that. And Rory is 20 when the book starts, and Arthur is 26, I believe, or 27. He's in his late 20s. I don't know exactly what, because I am a fool and forgot. It's stated. Also, if you can hear the ice cream truck in the background, I do deeply apologize. But anyway, Arthur is in his late 20s, and Rory is 20 on the dot when the series starts. So Arthur kind of feels a little weird about, like, having a 20-year-old, like, lover. It's not creepy or anything. Like, honestly, it's not creepy. Like, there is an age difference, but it's, like, it's handled well. Some people, I guess, still might find it a little creepy, but it doesn't read creepy, okay? It doesn't, the book, like, acknowledges the age difference and is like, hey, like, I'm not trying to take advantage of you, type of thing. Like, it's very, Arthur is very adamant, about, like, Rory knowing, like, that he's in control of what he wants. And, like, Arthur isn't going to do anything that Rory doesn't want. So it's very, they like consent. We all know I love consent. So it's very, it's good. It's good, okay? I think it's good. I don't think it's creepy. Usually I don't like age differences that are this big, but I didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. I recognize the fact that I haven't told you much about the plot, but that's because I feel like if I explain the plot too much, it's not going to be as fun to read about. So I'm not going to explain the plot too much beyond the fact that Arthur is, like, investigating ancient relics, and these ancient relics are really powerful for paranormal people. So, there's that. I'm not going to get into the actual plot, because I think it's better if you just go into it and you learn about it, because that's how I went into it, and I enjoyed it a lot. And I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much if somebody had explained the plot to me. So I'm not going to do that. Instead, let's talk about the pacing, I guess. The pacing in these books, fantastic. Spellbound is a little, like very little slow-paced in the beginning. Or it's not really the beginning. The beginning is good, and then like there's a tiny little part in the middle where like Arthur and Rory aren't sure what to do with each other yet. That kind of, it doesn't drag, but it feels a little slower than the rest of the book. But the second and the third book, I didn't see anything that was like that at all. So fantastic. They're all pretty fast paced. They're all pretty short, like I said. So, it's a good time. There are a lot of like plot twists. So I'm not gonna obviously tell you anything about the plot. So the plot twists are just gonna be completely new to you. You're not gonna have an inkling of what's going on. But yeah, there's a lot of plot twists, especially in the third book. In the third book, there is like a one plot twist that is so good. It's like, oh, it's chef's kiss. It is chef's kiss. Like, oh, it's so good. I'm not going to go into more detail because I feel like if I go into more detail, it'll give it away. So I'm not going to go into more detail. But it is so good. And yeah, so it's, the characters are lovely. There are, besides Arthur and Rory, I can tell you more about the characters. Besides Arthur and Rory, there is Jade, who is Arthur's friend. She was a spy in the war. She's black. She runs a speakeasy. And, like, she's in charge of getting the alcohol, because this is during Prohibition. And so she's in charge of getting the alcohol. And it's really cool. She has like her family at the speakeasy, like her sister like performs and her brother also performs in like a jazz band. It's real cool. Then we have Zong, whose family, like that's his last name. I can't pronounce his first name. It is revealed, but he is mostly called Zong throughout the book. And I can't pronounce his first name. So his family runs a tea shop, and they also, like, you know, are, like, helping out with, like, the paranormal relics, you know? And so, yeah, there's those, and so those are all of Arthur's friends. And then on Rory's side, we have Mrs. Brodigan, who is, like, she acts basically like Rory's aunt. So their dynamic is just so good. I love it so much. It's great. Rory doesn't really have many other friends, and I can't talk about any of his other relationships without spoiling the backstory. So we're just gonna go with Mrs. Brodigan. Her relationship with Rory is great, and yeah, it's fantastic. So yeah, those are like the main characters. There are some other characters that are introduced later on in the book, but I'm not going to get into them because that would be kind of spoiling the plot a little bit, and I don't want to do that. So this is going to be a really terrible review. I'm sorry. It's almost already 20 minutes long and I haven't told you anything. I'm sorry. But I am going to wrap it up soon because I can't think of much more to say. It handles everything a historical fiction handles. Like, it handles all of that brilliantly. And handles the romance brilliantly. And the plot is great. The characters are great. The character development is great. Like, it's just good. So, this is your chance to go read it. I'm getting the word out. It is good. And it's only like $9.99. So like, what are you waiting for, honestly? So that's all I got for this review. I'm sorry it was so rambly and so long and I didn't tell you anything, but I honestly think the less you know, the better. So I wanted to give you like little tidbits so you would like want to pick it up, but like I didn't want to give too much away. So I'm sorry about that, but that's just it gotta be like that. Comment question of the day is, because I'm gonna be better about giving y'all these for engagement purposes. So yeah, comment question of the day is, what is your favorite underhyped book series? It has to be a series, okay? It has to be a series. It can't be just a standalone. It has to be a series. Your favorite underhyped series. My favorite underhyped series is the Magic in Manhattan series. Because, I mean, Feverweight Duology, also, yes. But I feel like the Feverweight Duology is getting more hype. So, like, Magic in Manhattan series. So, anyway, that is your common question of the day. It doesn't have to be super underhyped, but like, what is your favorite underhyped series? What do you think is underhyped and should deserve more hype? So, let me know that. Even though there's no fortune tellers in this book at all, put a crystal ball emoji, because that's like very magic-y and paranormal. So yeah, do that. If you don't want to leave anything else, just leave me a crystal ball emoji. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm sorry again that this took so long and I gave you almost no information, but trust me, it's good. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.